Hello, good people. Today we need to talk about something called block quote formatting, which is something that you do when you're writing an essay and you need to quote something that is longer than 4 lines from the original text. Here we have a student example from years past. This is Izzy Chang's. If you see her, say, "Thanks for the example, Izzy. I learned a lot." Try to not make it sound as sarcastic as that. I really didn't intend to do that. Anyway, that said, here is her essay. I've bolded her quote just so that it's easier for you to see. But I want to mention right up front that you should not bold your quote in your final copy. This is purely just for learning purposes, okay? So here's her body paragraph. Situational irony occurs at the end of The Interlopers when the reader thinks that Ulrich and Georg, who decided to become friends, will work together to call their men and get out from under a fallen tree. Nice, good context there. It says in the text, "Are they your men?" asked Georg. "Are they your men?" He repeated impatiently as Ulrich did not answer. "No," said Ulrich with a laugh, the idiotic, chattering laugh of a man unstrung with hideous fear. "Who are they?" asked Georg quickly, straining his eyes to see what the other would gladly not have seen. "Wolves." All right, it's a great quote. It really illustrates the irony of the situation. But if we look back at The Interlopers, you'll notice it is 7 lines long. So obviously we cannot just put it in our regular quotation marks as we would normally do with any other quote that we're going to enter, something that's shorter than 4 lines. So what we need to do is called block quote formatting. And here's what you do. I'm going to show you exactly what to do kind of step by step. Ready? Step 1, we remove the big quotation marks that you've added around the quote. If you presuming that you did add those. So now we just sort of have the quote. Now what we're going to do is actually separate the quote from the rest of the essay. So we go like this. We hit enter and move it out from over there. Same thing at the end, right? We're going to boom and boom. So now we sort of see it is separate from the rest of the body. Well, that's embarrassing. That's my cell phone going off. Anyway, next thing we're going to do. So step 1, just to recap, step 1 was to separate it from the rest of the text after removing the big quotation marks. We want to make sure, obviously, that our formatting is correct, right? So anytime you have a quote within a quote, you need the single quotation marks around the things being said in your quote, and it looks like the rest of it is good to go. Now what we're going to do, we have to change the margins. We have to move them in by an inch on the left. And in order to do that, you need to manipulate this little arrow up here. This says left indent. Basically, wherever you move this, it moves the rest of the paragraph, as you can see. So we need to highlight our quote, and we're going to move it over a 1/2 inch. So it looks like it's at about the 1/2 inch margin here. So we're going to move it about a 1/2 from there. And there we go. And it should look a little something like this. Now, when we have multiple paragraphs that we are quoting, the rule book says, as you can see, we have multiple paragraphs, right? We need to make the indents just a little more gentle so that it doesn't just look like gobbledygook word vomit all over the page, okay? So we're actually going to just go 1, 2, 1, 2. Same thing over here, sort of move that to make it match up, and 1, 2. And I actually expect you to make this gentle 1, 2 noise as you're doing it. If you don't make that noise out loud, then you're doing it wrong. Okay, so we are almost there at this point. The next thing to do, something is looking a little funky to me right around here in terms of the line spacing. So in proper block quote format, we should have double spaced lines. Okay, so we're just going to go over here to our line spacing options, and we're going to click double. All right, and that looks pretty good. We're going to get rid of the bold because remember that's not actually what you're supposed to do. And now the last thing that we need to do is add what is called an in-text citation. I want to note that regardless of whether or not you have block quote formatting, you should have an in-text citation whenever you quote from your story directly. So basically, this is a set of parentheses that comes after everything. And inside the parentheses, you're going to tell us what page or pages your quote came from. So we take a look here and we see which page of the story is our quote on. This is page 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So our quote is from page 6. So we're going to go in and just write a little 6, and now it's done. Let's say that you had multiple pages that you're quoting from. Not that you really should. Let's say like your quote was kind of at the bottom of one page and at the beginning of another page, right? You should never quote an entire page of text. Let's say it was page 6 to 7, so you're just going to go 6-7, and then you're in good shape. But of course, it is not 6 to 7; it's just 6. So this is what your final block quote formatting should look like. Try to make yours look like mine if you need to use block quote formatting. Obviously, you don't actually have to have block quote formatting if your quote is shorter than 4 lines. Let me know if you have questions doing this, but feel free to replay the video if you just need to watch some part again or if you want to review the steps. But of course, I'd be happy to help you out if you feel like you need a little one-on-one attention on this. I do expect everybody to have proper quote formatting on this essay. It will be a part of your grade, so it is worth asking if you feel unsure. All right, thanks very much, folks, and happy quoting.